It was recently reported that thousands of illegal alien children were being held at Lackland Air Force Base, described as a giant emergency room, with most of the illegals crawling with lice and infected with everything from scabies to tuberculosis. Fox News reported that healthcare workers employed by an obscure group, Baptist Child and Family Services, BCFS, were being threatened with arrest if they divulged the health crisis at the camp.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. Good evening. My sources inside a camp for illegals at Lackland Air Force Base say it's one giant emergency room. They tell me tuberculosis has become a very dangerous issue there. Now, nurses say the number of children presenting with symptoms of tuberculosis is simply staggering. Spitting up blood, chest pains, constant coughing, just some of the symptoms. There are at least 3 confirmed cases at a facility for illegals in Austin, Texas. Now, we've also learned that nurses and other healthcare workers are telling us that the federal government is covering up the extent of the health crisis. They say kids have scabies. They also say they have chickenpox and an all-out epidemic of lice so severe they say the bugs can be seen crawling down the faces of the children. Now, BCFS is the organization hired by Health and Human Services to run the Lackland facility, the camp there. And they say no one is infected with TB at their facilities, and there are no major health issues there either. But my sources, and I have more than a half dozen, Sean, are standing by their statements. It's impossible to know the full extent of the communicable disease threat there because the feds refuse to allow random inspections of their facilities by the media. And as I report exclusively in my FoxNews.com column, healthcare workers have been told they could be arrested if they talk about what's really happening at that camp.
What shocked the nation more, however, was not that BCFS was covering up a massive health crisis outbreak, but the degree of security at the camp being described as Nazi-like. Healthcare workers at BCFS described the security also employed by BCFS as likening back to Hitler's Germany. According to the Fox News report, quote, the sources said workers were guarded by a security force from the Baptist Family and Children's Services, which the Department of Health and Human Services hired to run the Lackland camp. The sources say security forces call themselves the Brown Shirts. It was a very submissive atmosphere, the counselor said. Once you stepped onto the grounds, you abided by their laws, the Brown Shirt laws. Who are these brown shirts working in tandem with the Obama administration? They're certainly not strapped for money. Until a massive public outcry stopped them, BCFS was planning on buying the $50 million Palm Air Hotel in Westlake, Texas, complete with swimming pool, tennis courts, and exercise rooms, and were planning on turning it into a 600-bed facility for illegal alien minors. Where exactly does BCFS get the hundreds of millions of dollars to fund their operation? The State Department funded USAID, the so-called democracy-promoting organization, supplies much of their money. USAID touts itself as a humanitarian organization bringing food and health care to the world's population. But its primary function is State Department-orchestrated regime change. It is an open secret that USAID works directly with the CIA to topple governments not aligned with NATO and the United States interests, their most recent victim being the democratically elected Ukrainian government. None other than Barack Obama's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, long believed to be a CIA operative, worked for USAID, and Barack Obama has long been suspected of being a creation of the CIA. The question is, what country is USAID, that is, the CIA, currently attempting to topple? Could the CIA, working in conjunction with the Obama administration's attempt to collapse the border, be trying to topple the U.S. government? If so, who will lead the country? Will this be Obama's third term and final term that everyone fears, proclaiming him dictator for life? Conspiracy theory? Perhaps. Perhaps not.